It is the post-game video here. We're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly from the Lions and the Giants. Let's get this thing started right now. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get to 200 likes in this video for the post-game good, bad, and ugly, the winners and losers of this bad boy. The like really does help the most. So, Lions lose 3-14. A lot to talk about in here. We're going to start with I'll say the good here. We'll start with the good. Jake Bates had one field goal attempt, and he was successful for it. So shout out to Jake Bates. This is huge to see what he can do, and it was a pretty big 50-yard field goal for Jake Bates. He only had one opportunity. They had options at the goal line to do for field goals. There's no reason to have him out there when we're talking about a 20-yard field goal, okay? So I like the fact that the Lions win I know we didn't make it, but there's really no reason to set them out there. We're talking about preseason. We're talking about giving players opportunity to succeed. And so if Jake Bates were to kick a 20-yard field goal or a 25-yard field goal, I don't think a lot of us are going to say that's impressive. But he did do the 50. Good field goal there. Now, again, we got a couple more preseason games and training camp to evaluate Jake Bates to see if he can be the kicker for the Detroit Lions. Look, I've talked about this when it comes to whether it be in training camp or in game. It's not how you practice, it's how you perform on the field. Now, he's had some bad moments in camp. He's had some good moments in camp. But he had the one opportunity, big field goal, and it wasn't too bad for him. He made it. So, shout out to Jake Bates for that. So that's a victory on my list for one of my winners here is Jake Bates and his ability to make that field goal. So shout out to Mr. Jake Bates. In the comment section right now, who is a winner on your list? Name any player who you think is a winner. Next winner on my list is Sione Vaki. Vaki was really, really good. Now, he only had 4 carries for 29 yards. But if you watched every single play that Vaki did, you will see the immense talent and body control that he has. This guy was patient in the pocket, strong thighs, used well hips, and kept making players miss. He was juking, folks. It's been a minute since I've seen jukes like that. He is very, very solid. Now, he's going against Craig Reynolds for that number 3 job. From what I saw right now already, I love Craig Reynolds. Everybody knows I'm a big Reynolds fan. Vaki, in my opinion, has now jumped to the number 3 spot. I like Craig Reynolds. He's all around really good, or a good running back, right? He's not great at anything, but he's really good at everything, and that's solid. That's what you want to see, right? This is why Dan Campbell does like a Craig Reynolds, is because you know what you have with him. But Vaki brings a different element to the run game. This guy has the ability to break tackles and make people break their ankles. You have to watch the highlight videos of this. It was crazy. 7.3 average for him on his 4 carries for 29 yards, and he earned every single yard. It was not like he was wide open and just making these big plays. No, he was with a bad offensive line, the second/third string offensive line where the holes were not big, but he was making players miss. That is huge. What Vaki brings to the Lions is an element that is going to terrify defenses. When you got David Montgomery's a bulldozer, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who is awesome. Now you got Vaki in there. Man, really, really solid. Huge victory for Sione Vaki. Zonovan Knight's been fighting. He was 6 for 12, 2 yards average. He's not making the team. I didn't see anything from Zonovan Knight to suggest he's going to jump Craig Reynolds or Vaki. He doesn't have the burst. He doesn't have the hips like Vaki does, and he's just not all around as good as Craig Reynolds. Jake Funk got in there. He's not making the team, right? So shout out to Vaki and Jake Bates. My other winner here is Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, he did leave the game with a possible concussion. He looked fine. We'll see how it is. He's getting evaluated for concussion protocol, right? 5 for 9, 36 yards. He was 4 carries for 34 yards, 8.5. When Hendon Hooker was in the lineup, the offense was completely different. It had life. they were moving the football. They talked about in training camp how Sudfeld's been really good in training camp. It's over. The competition's over. Hendon Hooker is much better than Sudfeld. He throws the ball nice. What I really was paying attention to when it comes to Hendon Hooker is how is he going to act in the pocket. He was extremely calm. It didn't even look like he was nervous. And then obviously he did that run play where he knocked the linebacker down like Stafford did in 2014. Dr. Troy, thank you for the year. It was a different feel to the offense when he was in the lineup. Hendon Hooker, hopefully, he's good for the injury, but he is a winner, significant winner on my list. I wish he did, I'm glad they took him out of the game, in all honesty. I seen enough from Hendon Hooker to say he's already won the job from Nate Sudfeld. I don't need this guy breaking a leg. I don't need this guy breaking an arm. He already got hit with possible concussion. And he's big, too. You can see, and he's fast. Big and fast. He was a presence on that field. Those three are my biggest winners, and what's so really good about that is those are the three players I was really paying attention to, and all three came out as winners. So again, in the comment section right now, who is your biggest winner? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into some other players who I thought played well. Terrion Arnold, who's in there about, I don't know, maybe 10 snaps. Ennis Rakestraw was in there. The DBs in the first quarter of the game did really well. The whole defense did. I thought the defensive line in the first quarter was really good. Jalen Reeves-Maben with the good tackle, as we know. We already know Jalen Reeves-Maben is a good player. All the DBs were looking good in the first quarter, and the second quarter kind of fell off there when you're starting to switch players out. So I love what I saw there. We just need to see more, and they just need to get more reps. These guys, they're gonna make bad plays because they're new, right? This is a whole new DB field, basically backfield for the Lions defense. I was impressed there. The second quarter, I was definitely not impressed. The Giants, I think they went about 90 yards for a touchdown, and then we had the turnover, and then they got another touchdown right there, 14-3. A lot of injuries. It was not good. Connor Galvin, it looked really bad. A couple other Bada injured too. A lot of injuries. That's no good. Even though these guys aren't starters, we don't want to see that, so that's definitely not a win. Let's get into the losers, or what I like to call the Sudfields. This battle is over. Sudfeld was terrible. 13 for 24, 96 yards, average of 4, 1 interception. 4 sacks, a quarterback rating of 46.5. That's cheeks. That's terrible. He was awful. He looked like an undrafted free agent rookie out of my old high school, okay? He stood in the pocket. He just stood there. He'd take the sack. Or he'd try to run out. It was, hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball. Dude, throw the ball. Just get rid of it. Sack, 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 sack. 22 yards he lost in sacks. 4 sacks for 22 yards. Hendon Hooker, 0 sacks, right? Hooker was the one throwing the ball away. He threw the ball. He was looking like the veteran. This was the worst. I thought Tim Boyle was bad. I must say, I ask forgiveness, Tim Boyle. You're not the worst quarterback I've ever seen. Nate Sudfeld is the worst quarterback I've ever seen. Jamar Jefferson, we'd been hearing a lot of hype about him. He didn't really do anything. 5 for 9 at 1.8 yards. Again, it doesn't matter what you're doing in training camp. You got to do it on the field. It's why I never really ride the Jamar Jefferson train. Couple players who I thought did impress. Isaiah Williams, the undrafted rookie here. He made the best out of opportunities. 4 for 35 yards, 8.8 average, long of 13 targets on 4. He caught everything. His route running, again, is exactly what we thought it was. Is very crisp, and he's fighting for extra yards. I don't know if he makes the team, right? But he's doing everything he can to make this team. Antoine Green, injured. We don't know the severity of it. He is a player trying to make the roster, right? Donovan Peoples-Jones had a good reception, 1 for 26. The fight is still going on for the receivers there, but you can go ahead and throw Isaiah Williams back in the hat. It is not what you do in practice. It's what also you do in game. Isaiah Williams was doing the best that he can. Maurice Alexander, bad. The guy muffed 2 punts. His specialty was, right, kick return, punt return. He's not making the team. Sorry, you can't do that twice in one game. Shane Zylstra and Parker Hesse both had 2 good catches for the tight end position. Shout out to them. They're battling out to him. And James Mitchell as well. So all 3 had catches. This battle for the number 3 tight end position is really legit, and it's fun to watch. Don't know who's going to do it. Don't know who's going to get it. Jalen Calhoun. Impressed with him. Now, he didn't have much of catches, but he had the pass interference. He literally turned around and went towards the ball. That's exactly what you do when the ball is uncatchable, and it forced a pass interference. That was a veteran type of move. Jalen Calhoun, I like what I saw right there. Jake Funk, he's not making the team. A lot of evaluation going on. Stephen Gilmore, he had a nice play over there for the secondary. I thought Mitchell Agood did well. Mitchell Agood, pass defense. I think did he have a sack? No, it was Broderick Martin. He had closest sack. Mitchell Agood, well, Broderick Martin looked really well too. Brandon Joseph looked well. Jalen Reeves-Maben. Malik Jefferson, who I ain't talked about, he had total 6 tackles and 2 solo. You seen him out there. I thought he did well. He's trying to make the team. It's going to be difficult. All in all, I don't care about score. They had an opportunity. They literally could have kicked 2 field goals. I just want to see more what's going to be taking place, obviously, with situational football, and that's what they did there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, and the ugly. With that said, folks, adios.